live homeless and without education, and God does not call them away from this earth, whereas children of parents who can afford to give them a God-pleasing education usually have to die. Why is this? If it pleases God to put only savages on this earth who can hardly utter 5 words, then God does the right thing in promptly removing from the earth every child that shows better spirit and letting only the idiots live beside the apes. But if God wishes to have on this earth spiritually awakened, pious, God-recognizing and loving people, I think God should pay more attention to the life of such children than has been the regrettable case until now. Say I, my dear friend Jairus, you speak as you understand it from a human viewpoint, but God acts according to how He in His divine way understands, and must understand it from eternity, or you and all that is would not have an existence. But you nevertheless do an injustice to God with your grumbling. For if God had taken from the world all the children who already in their childhood had given evidence of intelligence and talents, all of you who are now here with me would already have decayed in the earth. But since you are still here at a considerable age, your blaming God is unjustified. For also all of you revealed in your childhood particularly much intelligence. You were children of very wealthy parents, and God still allowed you to live, while He outside among the heathens took many thousands of poor children from this earth through dysentery and other bad illnesses, which caused their poor parents quite as much grief as the parents of this boy who are still living, and have adopted for this boy 3 poor children. These 3 children are now quite worthy successors of the one child who in time, because of his great talents, would have been pampered and spoiled too much by his parents, who loved him more than God, and in the end he would not have lived up to his parents. God, however, saw that in advance, removed him at the right time from this world, and in the beyond gave him to the angels for a better education, so that he might have a better chance to sooner reach the destination set for him by God as for every human. In addition to this, God had planned for a time to come when for you few God's name shall be glorified. And behold, that is the reason why God let this boy die already a year and a half ago, so that he would be properly decomposed when the Lord God will once more restore him to life. Therefore, lift the coffin out and open it. Following these words, Boris and Kisiona immediately climbed into the tomb and tried to lift the coffin, but they were unable to move it, for it was extremely heavy, having been made from solid cedar wood, with in addition a lot of heavy ornaments of iron, gold and silver. After repeated efforts, Boris said, "Lord, the coffin is too heavy. We cannot master it at all. As far as I know, this coffin was lowered with the help of machines, and by natural means it will only be possible to lift it out again with machines." Say I, "Then come out of the tomb. The 2 youths who are here shall lift it out." Boris and Kisiona now quickly climb from the tomb, and the 2 youths lift the coffin promptly and with such ease as if they were handling feather down. Bab, his wife, and children open their eyes in surprise, and he says, amazed at the strength of the 2 youths, "But what unbelievable power and strength they possess! These 2 tender boys, none of whom can be more than 15 years old, played like a high wind with the down with this weight which has resisted the strength of 2 strong men. Ah, such a thing has never been heard of." Say I, Never mind, for you will now witness much greater things. But let all of you remember this. You must not tell any one of this, not even my disciples, for their time has not come for a long time yet. But once the time has come, they will get to know everything anyway. But now open the coffin so that we may see how far the body is already decomposed. The coffin was immediately opened, and the boy, who was completely decomposed, except for the bigger bones, was by the skilled hands of Boris freed from all the shrouds and swathes for all to inspect. The miserable-looking skeleton was viewed by all with visible shuddering, and Faustus said, "Ecce homo, look, that is a man too. What a fine lot for the voluptuous flesh of mankind! A horrible-looking skull, still covered with some stuck-together hairs, a shrunk greenish-brown breast skin, here and there broken by some half-decayed ribs, the black spine over which there are still hanging some traces of decayed intestine covered with mildew. Finally the feet, how horrible they look, full of decay and mildew, and our noses also feel that we are not in the shop of a balsam merchant, for the stench is worse than I would have expected. No, this is a form well suited to make a man's existence as contemptible as possible, for in the end every one of us has to expect this lot. This is the reason why I by far prefer cremation of the bodies to burial." Say I, "But if the Son of Man has the power to awaken and recall into life also such bodies, as well as all those that since Adam are resting fully decomposed in the earth, does also then such a sight present a picture of horror? Can death still have something frightening when a master has raised himself above it? In order that all of you who are here may see that I, as a Son of Man on this earth, have the perfect power to call back into life also such bodies, and to reanimate them and make them immortal, this boy shall be a witness for you." Hereupon I say to the boy, "Joso, I tell you, arise and lie and live, and witness that I have the power to raise from the dead also such dead as you." At this moment there arose a strong draught. The mildew of decay vanished. Soon the bones were once more covered by skin, and within it the body began to swell to its full form, like a dove mixed with leaven, and in a few moments the boy arose fully alive from the open coffin, immediately recognized Jairus, Faustus, and Cornelius, whom he knew well from Nazareth, and asked Jairus, "But, dear uncle, however did I get here into this coffin? What has happened to me? I was just now in a very dear company, and do not know how I have so suddenly come here." Says Jairus, "My dear Joso, look at the one who is standing beside you. He is the Lord over life and death. Your body was dead, and has been lying here in this coffin already for a year and a half, and no power proceeding from man could have been able to restore your life for this earth. This one, however, who does look like a man, but is much more than a man, has recalled you from death into life. Therefore you should thank him alone for this life which he has given you again." The boy looked me over from head to foot in surprise, and said after a while, more clearly remembering, "That is the same who called me away from the wonderful company, and said to me, 'Joso, come, for you must be a witness for me on earth that I have been given all the power in heaven and on earth.'" and I willingly followed him, for I immediately felt that he had come from God and carried within him the fullness of the divine power and authority over all things in heaven and on earth.